home builder is a little less relevant in the building code and is obviously more relevant in the IRC. And I think we could combine that with a contractor position.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to take the comments and then we'll figure out what to do. Micah?
I'm going to agree with Chael on this. We could talk about this a lot longer, so I'm going to make a motion to table this and pending comments from the council coming in and revisiting it at the next meeting.
Okay.
What we can do, we can, well, it's already posted, but we will add a message, a news asking stakeholders and members of the public to send us feedback. Same thing with the council members. Feel free to send us whatever you think. So we'll work on it until next meeting. It will be in January.
Did you post the actual Excel sheets or just a PDF?
Well, I'm not sure if I can post the Excel spreadsheet.
Could you email them to the council?
Their page.
For the council members on the website. Yeah, this remind me that we have a web page for the council members that sometimes we send you the link so we can save the spreadsheet there.
Okay.
And for the members of the public, we have a PDF document that will be posted on the website.
Okay, perfect. Todd?
Motion to table takes precedence.
Well, there was no second. Todd?
Sorry, leftover.
Gotcha. I don't know that we even need a motion. I think everybody's in concurrence. Does anybody disagree with postponing discussion on this, putting it on the website and letting us feedback electronically? Anybody disagree? Let's go ahead and take that action. You got 5 minutes if you want to try to squeeze in a staff report. Let's go ahead. Apologize for that.
We have another.
And we have a council opinion.
Go ahead.
People waiting to comment.
We have a council opinion, and we have folks that are waiting to comment on it.
Okay. Do we need to extend the meeting?
Well, it's up to the council members, but.
Does somebody want to make a motion to extend? Todd, is your hand still up or is that?
I'll make a motion to extend 20 minutes.
Okay,
Second.
okay, motion and a second to extend to 4:20. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay,
I'm not opposed, Damon, but I do have a hard stop at 4, so I'm going to have to drop off.
okay, thank you, Roger. Todd, is your hand up or is that an artifact?
No, I'm having trouble lowering it. So if someone can force that issue, please do. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Stoyan.
All right, so I'll lead off on this one. So we had a request to have an interpretation done on correlating some requirements for solar provisions with within the IFC to be able to be used within the IRC. One of the main reasons this is being brought forward is that in 2012 there was provision in the IRC that pretty much directed any solar installation to be installed per the IFC. In 2015, the chapter for solar in the IRC was moved from chapter 23 to chapter 3. And the state amendment changed quite a bit to try to include all the provisions for solar installation in the residential code. But one of the key elements that was lost and that people want to use, and that in my experience as a building official, became a point of contention several times, was that in the IFC, there is an allowance for if you have an array that is 1,000 square feet or less, and it occupies 33% or less of the total roof area, you can reduce the pathways around the edges of that solar array to 18 inches instead of 36 inches. If I'm remembering, I'm not reading straight off of all this. And so solar providers or installers, they want to design to one standard. And what you see before you hear is the question is, can a jurisdiction use IFC section 1205 when permitting on a residential structure? The answer I've prepared for the council to consider today is yes, that it would allow designers and jurisdictions to utilize an exception in IFC 1205.2.1 number 5, which allows the use of pathway reduction for arrays less than 1,000 square feet. And then below that, I have excerpts from the 2012 code showing kind of how this was allowed back then. And if we're looking at, for now, the main difference between the IRC and the IFC provisions is that this exception is not in the residential code. And the proponents that spoke to me about bringing this forward were part of the 2012 code adoption cycle or code of development on this. And they worked with the solar industry, and the provisions that you see here were agreed upon by everybody to be the best way forward. And it was kind of lost in translation as the code was developed in subsequent years. And Dave Kokot was one of the primary folks I was working with, and he was on the meeting earlier. I'm not sure if he is still here.
It looks like he is not.
Okay, well, if you have questions for me, I'd be happy to entertain them. But I have for you, yes, the IFC can be used for permitting residential solar arrays as the short answer to that intro.
Before we take action, it looks like Bill Will has got his hand up.
There, I finally got the unmute button. Bill Will from Washington Solar Energy Industries Association would urge that the council will adopt this opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Micah?
Thanks, Chair. Dustin and those others that have developed this, my curiosity in the answer is the 1,000 square foot. Is that a Washington amendment
I do
from
believe
2012?
I do believe so, but I might
So how
have
does
to
that
go research a little bit further on the answer to that directly.
So should we be including something from the 2012 in a current opinion? Is this an opinion on the 2012 code?
This is an opinion
Because your
on,
code,
it's for use with all current codes. The intent here is that it was allowed. And when looking at the rationale for adoption of the subsequent codes after 2012, it wasn't apparent why that exception was removed in the new codes.
okay, I guess then I would want some revisions, because this is specifically stating it's for the 2021 IRC and 2021 IFC. And those have different sections other than 1205.2.1 number 5. There's multiple sections that talk about the 66%, the 18 inches in both the IFC 2021, and then there are some roof access and pathway information under R324.6 in the 2021 and R324.6.1 in for pathways and setbacks at the ridge in R324.6.2 that talk about the 18 inch and 33%. Again, I guess I'm just not sure if we're applying this to the correct code. I don't agree that we should include sections from the 2012 code that's not relevant any longer. And I believe that if the 1,000 square foot is not stated in code, then we would need to remove that as well. I think we need to clarify this further before the council approves it. Thanks.
Thanks, Micah. Chell, I had a
Okay, yeah, so the 1205.2.1 reference is not to a 2021 code, is that correct?
It's supposed to be to the 2021 code. All the stuff below the answer is really there for informational purposes.
Okay, but the 1205.2.1 is in the 2021 codes, or it's not?
It is in the 2021 IFC.
IFC, okay. So then, Micah, I thought you were saying that 1205.2.1 was not in the current codes, or did I misunderstand you?
I was asking if that was a Washington amendment. I
Oh,
have
okay.
the 2021 IFC code open right now, and I don't see section 1205.2.1 number 5. In 1205.2.1, it goes to number 2. So I guess that was my question, is I may be missing numbers. If this is a Washington amendment, that is completely different. And some of my questions still remain on what code we're referencing and where the 1,000 square feet comes from.
It's
Yeah,
in the insert pages for that section.
So, yeah,
Micah loves insert pages.
Hmm.
the 1205.2.1 is part of the Washington State Amendment. Whether or not the 1,000 square feet is specifically Washington numerology, I do not know. But it appears to be so.
I'm also a bit confused where we're getting why the 2012 code is at all relevant in here. Nobody can take exceptions from prior codes into the current code for other codes. So I don't know why that's relevant in this case. If it is a current exception, then it can be an opinion that you can take that exception because it's in the current code. If it's not in the current code, I don't know what remedy the building code council has in an opinion to say that you can take an exception that doesn't exist in the code. So either it exists in the code or it doesn't. And I guess and if it exists only in the 2012 code, then I don't see how we could render this opinion. But if it exists in the 2021 code, then certainly we could render an opinion like this.
So
looking at-
the exception does exist in the 2021 Washington State Amended Fire Code. The whole purpose of bringing this forward is that this exception existed in the 2012 versions of codes, and I know we're not trying to bring the 2012 amendment or exception forward, but in 2012, the IRC pointed users to the IFC to go about design of solar installations. In 2015, the layout of the IRC changed and took solar provisions from chapter 23 and inserted them into chapter 3 of the IRC. And all the language that was in the IFC was essentially duplicated, except for this one exception. And there's no rationale why this went away. In the development of what you see before you, members who participated in the 2012 amendment indicated that was one of their hallmark babies that they liked as part of that amendment, and that they would like to continue doing that. And when I used to review permits, we would frequently get solar permits for residential structures that in their documentation, they're claiming that they are designing for IFC, and it became difficult as a code official to reject that permit based on the fact that it's an IRC structure. And what the solar industry is telling me is that they want to design for IFC for every project they do. And in 2012, they used to be able to do that, and now they can't.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's just not a pointer in the IRC to the IFC? Is that?
Not anymore. It was in 2015, they redid everything, and all the provisions for solar and IRC were attempted to be included in the IRC language. And
So-
speaking to the people in 2012, they did not intend that to be how it turned out.
So if the IRC, does the IRC contain language that contradicts the IFC?
It doesn't contradict, it just doesn't have, the exception for arrays at 1,000 square feet that are less than 30%, 33%.
Okay, I think I understand
So-
the challenge now. Thanks.
Micah, before you go, I'm looking at page 153 of the 2021 IFC insert pages draft. And 1205.2.1, as it's on your screen right here, is right in that language. Also,
Sure, I see that in the WAC.
Yeah.
I see that exception or that item number 5 in the WAC now on the fire code. Was that it, Damon?
yeah, and then I'm just, Gavin Kennels had his hand up for a while as well, so.
Okay. I don't mind going to public comment. I will have more comment after this. The IRC covers a lot of this already. And there were some changes in the IRC. There is allowable reduced setbacks in the IRC already. And I don't think the 1,000 square foot is relevant. There may be a specific reason that was not brought over to the IRC. And I'm not sure that we should conflate the two until we get more history on why that's not in the IRC at this point. There is measures in the IRC. When we look at R324, 0.6.2, it has pathways, setbacks at ridges, and then they have alternative setbacks at the ridges based on sprinklers. So I really am not in agreement with this opinion at this moment. Thank you.
Gavin, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Chair. Gavin Tennell, representing Wasia, and I'm the one that pointed this out to Fire Marshal Kokot here in Spokane, who chaired, there was a subcommittee, a technical advisory committee consisting of fire marshals and solar installers to come up with this 33% exception. This is a Washington specific exception that was put through due process. And our industry really depends on this 33% exception in order to do residential installs. The exception is intended to allow firemen to vent roofs when they still have that 18-inch setback on the roof on the ridge, as long as it's a smaller array, and that's why it has that 1,000 foot number. We are increasingly running into this on both existing houses which we're being asked to install on, or on new construction designs. It's creating some really difficult challenges for us, and I really want to encourage passage of this opinion. I understand that it's not in the code. I want to speak up and say, I took part in writing the new code that's rolling out. I it's unfortunate we didn't catch this in time, but we're hoping that this opinion pointing to the Washington compromise, the 33% rule, can allow for continued use of our trade in the field. So thank you, and I'd be available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Gavin. Okay, does the council want to take action on this today? Anyone? Joe?
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out. I feel like I have some questions, and I think Micah had some questions as well. I still don't. I'm not quite clear if this opinion is attempting to write code language that doesn't exist, or if it's simply helping people find the right code language so they can do the solar install. It's not clear to me. That's not clear to me, and I guess I would need it to be clear in order to vote on it today. Micah had probably better framed questions.
Yeah, it seems like there's perhaps an overlap between the IFC and the IRC. Go ahead, Micah.
I do see where they're trying to go with this. I'm just not sure as written that it's clear. It seems like this lends back to the whole correlation issue that we keep bringing up. Because the fire code says one thing, but then the residential code is more restrictive to some extent in that it does not allow for the 1,000 square foot area. It would seem that the 1,000 square foot is maybe that's something that needs to be addressed in correlation. I don't see why this couldn't move forward at some point. I just think as written, it's not at a point where I think we should approve it. I do think that the code official could definitely use the 1205.2.1 to approve this as an alternate means and methods at this point until we can come to some conclusion as a full council. But as written, I won't support it. But I do want to support the premise in saying that the code official should approve their request.
Okay,
So I
thank you.
think the intent of this is to give some ammunition to a solar installer to come with a design that uses this exception. The same folks who are bringing this forward, I let them know that this is not the adoption of code language. This is an opinion and it's not necessarily a mandated enforcement by the code official. This is just a tool that somebody could say, just like Micah said, is an alternative means and methods. The folks that are bringing this to you today, I do believe that they are intending to submit a revision for the 2024 cycle in the IRC, IFC to correlate this issue and get this exception back in the code. I think they're just looking for a little bit of grease for a building official to maybe consider that 1205.2.1 exception. And if it needs a little bit more revision before approval as an opinion from the council, I can agree with that. And I would like to, work with Micah to get something that he would like to see as far as language goes. And also, with Dave and the other folks that are here with Wasia to get something that's equitable for everybody.
Perfect. If we could do that, that sounds like it's forward progress. Okay. Is there any other business? We are about 5 minutes away from our conclusion time. Stoyan, did you want to attempt to give a staff report, or would you rather submit that in writing?
I don't have a formal report. I've been trying to show you the budget, how it looks like, but I think I will succeed for the next year.
Okay.
Everything else, we prepared a checklist / training / onboarding for the council members, and I will send it to you on Monday next week. So you will see links for different documents or websites, so you can take a look. If you like it, let me know. If you hate it, let me know as well. We're trying to prepare something for you folks to educate yourself and help you out.
Great, thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
That took a
Yeah.
while.
It's
they
gotta
wanna
be
stay.
Micah for some reason. What's wrong with you guys?
Okay, everybody, may see you in the public hearings next week, as we're preparing for Thanksgiving. Otherwise, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you afterwards.
Thanks for chairing today, Damon. I don't know if you
Thanks,
woke up
Damon. Nice
thinking you were
Thanks,
gonna
Damon.
chair it.
I'm gonna go drink now.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.